MtZion211 and I have decided to enter into a video discussion concerning our interpretation of the book of Revelation. So MtZion211, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this with you. For those of you who don't know, he and I had been talking about this for several days, kind of working things out as to what we would be doing and so forth. And we finally got those things worked out so we can begin working on our videos. We will probably both be releasing our introduction video tomorrow. This is my introduction video. Pretty much just thanking him for what he has done so far. And we will begin sometime after that, probably 2 days or so after that, where we released our first videos getting actually into the book of Revelation itself. So again, MtZion, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to discuss the book of Revelation with you. As I've talked to you before, I think you and I see the book of Revelation a lot alike, and in some terms are different. I may tell you one thing and you tell me something else, and we're saying it in different words. But as I've told you before, I think we see a lot of things the same in Revelation. We're just using different terminology. So hopefully that will help you and I to understand each other's terminology, to see how close we are in understanding the book of Revelation and how similar we are. And naturally there's going to be some differences. And that is what we want our viewers to see. How I look at the book of Revelation and interpret it, and how MtZion looks at the book of Revelation and gives his interpretation. And that way it is our hope that it will give people an opportunity to look at two different views at the book of Revelation and walk away with some idea of what the book of Revelation is actually saying. I feel like MtZion does on this is that if you will take the Bible and interpret the Bible and use the Bible, you can't go very wrong if you do the right method of interpreting. Then it's when you start reaching outside of the Bible for things that aren't there, it's when people start getting in trouble with their interpretation, because they have to force fit a lot of things and put things there that were never intended to be there. So like MtZion, I think if you're going to interpret the book of Revelation, then you have got to use the book of the entire Bible to do that. Now that doesn't mean that I won't be using what other writers have said, or be looking at church history to see what other writers in the history of the church has said about the book of Revelation. It's just that I won't be bringing ideas that are not in the Bible into the book. And if I happen to do that by accident, I'll let you know that it is my opinion about it. I won't give it as fact when it's my opinion. So let me start off by saying this about the book of Revelation, and I'll close my introduction on it. I feel that the book of Revelation, if we are to understand the book of Revelation, we must first understand what it meant to the immediate hearer of the word. In other words, what did the book of Revelation mean to the readers that Paul sent it to? When we can understand what it meant to the reader, then we can take that and make an application for today. But if we totally miss what the immediate hearer of the book took it to be, then we're going to miss the interpretation way up. We're going to be way off on it. It just can't be done. You have got to take the culture in which these people were in, the circumstances, the setting, the historical setting in which they were in, and try to understand what was John trying to say to those people who would first read that book, or who would first hear his words. When we can come to an understanding of that, then I feel we can take it and apply it today. But you can't apply what is not there to start with, though. If John gave the book of Revelation to people who would understand what he is saying, we can't add something that John didn't put in there. And I think that's what a lot of people do today. They take the book of Revelation and never consider what it meant to the original hearer of the word. And when they do that, they start adding their meaning to it, and to me, totally lose any value as far as interpreting the book of Revelation goes at all. And so naturally I will be using not only the New Testament but the Old Testament as well. There is a lot of imagery in the book of Revelation. There's a lot of symbolism in the book of Revelation that relates us back to the Old Testament. In fact, I think there's something like 256 different verses of the Old Testament in the book of Revelation that John brings into it. And maybe he's trying to get us to see it from the Jewish standpoint and go back, say, like, for instance, the book of Daniel. He mentions things in there that it appears to be looking at the book of Daniel. What was going on in Daniel's time? Persecution. What's going on in John's time? Persecution. So maybe that's all John is trying to get us to see, that as it was in the days of Daniel when the persecution was going on for the Jews under Antiochus Epiphanes, the Babylonian Empire, the Assyrian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, and it points to the Roman Empire. Maybe he's trying to get us to look back and see what was the historical circumstances back then and bring them into what he's trying to tell his readers, because he strictly uses a lot of Old Testament imagery in there. So I will be approaching it from the standpoint of giving my interpretation as I see from the book of Revelation and what it points me back to in the Old Testament as well. But I will stay in the Bible to do this with it, though. I'm not going to be doing any wild speculating or anything like that. I'm going to strictly be using the Bible to do this with. So again, I want to thank MtZion211 for his courtesy and his friendship and entering into this discussion with me on the book of Revelation. I want to remind the viewers, this is not a I win, he loses, or he win and I lose thing. We're just simply discussing the book of Revelation back and forth, as any two people should discuss differences that they have. This way, Mount Zion will be able to see where I differ from him. I will be able to see where he differs from me. But more importantly, we'll be able to see why each other differs with each other. And we may be closer than what we really think. As I said earlier, it just may be a matter of terminology that we're using. So Mount Zion, thank you very much for this, and I encourage viewers to come in and ask questions. Please ask respectful questions. I'm not going to tolerate any unwarranted comments, and neither will he. But if you have some questions that we might can help you with, if we can, maybe we can steer you to someone who can. But this is a learning experience for both of us, where we're discussing our views of Revelation in hopes that not only can we help each other, but just as important, we can help someone who may not understand the book of Revelation and needs some type of guidance in it to come to the two different videos, see how two people can look at it and disagree on it, but yet present their views in a way that it may help others as well. Again, thank you, MtZion211, and for those of you who have not subscribed to him, I encourage you to do so. And he's got some excellent videos up. I've watched them all. Again, I don't agree with everything he says, and he knows I don't. I know he doesn't agree with everything I say. But subscribe to him and give him your support as well. And for my Catholic friends on YouTube, I encourage you to go subscribe to him as well and watch his videos. He's not a Catholic, but he's not anti-Catholic either. He tells us right off the bat he's non-denominational, but he's strictly not anti-Catholic as well. He's looking for guidance just like anyone else would and I would, and I want to thank him for that and his courtesy in extending me the opportunity to discuss this with you. Until next time, this has been Golly saying God bless.